It's interesting to be back on the podium again, having had 3 years actually sitting on that side with a private equity-backed company, and therefore not really needing to be on this side and informing the market, rather interested in what everybody else was doing. So here, after joining LGO in November last year, I thought it was time to give you an update on what our plans are and how we're addressing the assets in that company and what we're going to do in the future. There isn't a printed presentation, but the presentation I'm giving you will be on the website. In fact, it already probably should be. I hope you'll accept that as the green solution and not cutting down too many trees. So don't print them all because then you'll have destroyed my objective there. I did actually read this. I've never read anybody else's, but I thought I would read it, and I can assure you it's good. Brief summary of the company. Now, I know many of you have been following the company for a long time, a lot longer than I have been following LGO, but I have taken the view that it would be best to give you a summary right through the company's assets, though we will be focusing heavily on Spain, which is where the activity is focused at the moment. The company, of course, is actually, it's 4 years and 1 day old. It was IPO'd on AIM on March 16th, 2007. The assets, I've already mentioned Spain, but we're also producing in Trinidad and the Gulf of Mexico, and we have an exploration, frontier exploration activity offshore Malta. Anyway, the important point I would draw from the upper part of there is we're operator in Spain and Trinidad. That's where our current activity is focused and where we have the most impact. I understand the shares are off this morning on the basis of the announcement. I'm hoping to rectify that in the next 20 minutes. This is, I'll let you read this at your leisure, or look on the website, or in fact just ignore it. But the board is now a stronger oil and gas board. Everybody on the board has extensive resource company experience over a minimum of 25 years. Of course, David Leni Gas founded the company and remains in the chair. 3 of the board members have extensive oil and gas expertise. 2 of us with 35 years in the industry. And I'll come back to Steve Horton shortly when I give you an update on the news flow. That's just there in as a spacer so I can draw breath, and gives you the geographic spread, but it does remind us that we're in the Western Hemisphere. The company currently has no assets in the eastern part of the world. On the basis of what I was taught probably about 30 years ago, tell them what you're going to tell them it, and tell them what you told them. This is the summary from the end of the presentation, brought forward to the beginning, and we'll come back to it at the end. This is the progress that we're trying to get in the company to deliver, incremental production from Spain. Now, that has been the objective of the company for a number of years. I think we are at a tipping point on that, and the announcement this morning deals in more detail with the steps that we're taking to achieve that. It has been slower coming than certainly our shareholders wanted, certainly our board wanted, but we think we're at that point of delivery now. That is not the ultimate prize. That is about revenue. That generates a sustainable level of revenue from the shallow Ayoluengo field to reinvest in secondary and tertiary recovery projects on that field, and allows us also to explore in the vicinity, including deeper targets below. So that's our number one objective, and most of that will go on this year. That will allow us also to move our focus to Trinidad. our second asset zone, and I'll come back and explain what we're doing there. We do have a fairly large exposure to the Gulf of Mexico, which has been underperforming in the sense that investment pace has been slower than we expected. It is still a producing zone. It spins off cash, but not to the extent that we had anticipated, hence the slightly greater focus on making Spain self-sustaining. And finally, when we've done all of that, we need to enlarge the company. This is a repeatable strategy that we're following. There are lots of other assets, and we plan to do that at the right time. I've mentioned each of these already in high-level summary. The main oil field that we have is an old one, but the remaining oil in place exceeds 100 million barrels. If I refer back to some work and discussion that I was involved with yesterday at another conference, Finding Petroleum, where they were looking at EOR projects, this is very much in the lower recovery zone. Average recovery from this field since its discovery is below 20%. These days, sandstone reservoirs onshore with modern technology are often in the 60% range. So we have a lot of oil still to recover from that field. There are satellite fields, and northern Spain has not been excessively worked in terms of exploration, and so we have also built ourselves a fairly large footprint to continue to explore for similar fields. In Trinidad, we have a small entry field, the Ocacos field. It's currently producing about 34 barrels a day, which pays for our operation in Trinidad, but is clearly not the prize, and I'll come back to what we're doing there. Gulf of Mexico, I've talked about, and Malta, I'll return to at the end. So what have we been doing for the last 3 or 4 months since I've been around? We signed a joint venture with Praxair back in October last year. I've mentioned EOR, secondary recovery and tertiary recovery projects are the key to value in our Spanish asset, and the gases for that have to come from somewhere, and we will be piloting that this year using gas supplied by Praxair, who have a lot of international experience in EOR projects. We've also signed a joint venture with RAG of Austria and Sardinia to explore for the deep unconventional gas. The Cantabrian Basin is one of the European shale gas potential basins. We know the shales are down there. We know they've got gas in. What we don't know is whether they have the other prerequisites for a successful shale gas project. That's a fairly major investment, and we've teamed up with larger companies to do that. We raised a bit of money in mid-November to accelerate the Spanish work that I'm going to talk you through in a minute, and we are funded through all of that work. My appointment was announced thereafter, and in December we put out an update which dealt with 2 things. One was the field-wide environmental permit, which we had waited close to 2 years to get. This is not an uncommon story onshore Europe, and we will now be able to access and use all the wells in the field. We can access them, we can work them over, we can sidetrack them, we can deepen them. And as there are 53 wells, that gives us quite a lot of running room for secondary recovery. We also signed a sales agreement with BP España. It's important that we have somewhere to send this oil. At the moment, we sell it as fuel oil, and there's a limited market. The Castellón refinery will take our oil when we have it, and that's a life of field agreement. We appointed new brokers, and as I mentioned earlier, we appointed a new non-executive director, Steve Horton, ex-drilling manager from BP, and has a lot of experience in the small junior market, having founded Silverstone some years ago. So Steve has joined us and strengthened the board considerably in oil and gas expertise. So looking at Spain very quickly to remind you where we are in the north of Spain, that rather reddy brown area is mountains, and in fact often through the winter we have quite heavy snow at the field, not something I always think of when I think of Spain, it does sometimes affect our operations in the winter, something which we'll work hard to prevent in future years. The map on the right shows the position of the field, dead center there, a lot of seismic in that area. Seismic thins out in the exploration licenses around there, but we have a number of other prospects already identified and a work program going forward that will allow us to assess those further. There's a couple of other features on here, the Tozo gas field, which I'll mention later, and Hontamen. Hontamen down there in the southeast is a satellite field. It only has proven 4 or 5 million barrels of oil, but in collaboration with a Spanish institute who want to use the reservoir for a pilot carbon capture and storage project, we have recently acquired a 3D over the field area, and that's allowed us to consider where we'll site some additional wells. I'll be very quick with this because anybody who's been around the Leni story will know all of this. As I said earlier, the field was discovered in '64. It's quite old. The fuel oil grade is, however, we have good crude. It's in a sandstone reservoir. 17 million barrels recovered to date from in place of over 100. And in fact, that's not distributed evenly across the field. The facilities are all there and intact for producing up to 10,000 barrels a day, though the peak production from the field in 1969 was only just over 5,000 barrels a day. So that should kind of give you some sense of the expectation that we have here. It's currently producing 120, 130 barrels a day. These are more kind of pictorial, again, to give you a sense of what is there. Storage, the export used to be by pipeline. The pipeline was decommissioned, could be recommissioned, but at the moment we export by tanker. We've recently reconfigured the manifold and the process so that we can handle a larger volume again. The crude has a little arsenic in it, and that doesn't matter for fuel oil grade, but the refinery will need us to remove that, and that plant is there. It was used by the previous owners, Repsol and Chevron, but needs recommissioning. The field is self-powered by gas. We don't import any energy to the field. We dispose of water within the field area. The plant is currently being automated, which will allow us to handle larger volumes. Traditional beam pump operation. This is, I think, well 37 on the hill behind for the eagle-eyed. At the very extreme left of this slide, you can see well 46. It's a flat area. We share the land with the local agriculture. Access is excellent. We have 14 currently open wells from which we produce. There are at least 30 of the balance that we can access. In terms of downhole, surface we could access the entire thing. We're working to new higher environmental standards, having got a new permit for this field and that will require a little remediation work. We've recently checked all the flow lines, and we're putting some of these tanks which need to be bunded, for example. So there's work going on to raise the environmental standard of the field. So what are we planning to do in the immediate? We have the equipment ready to go to carry out an extensive workover on the field. This has not been done. Nobody has invested in the field for a number of years. We've invested about just under €4 million in the field recently, all on surface facilities and environment. We're now about to invest in the wells. The red circles show the ones that we will be working over to as the highest priority. The trial we carried out on one well to remove scale and to reperforate gave us about an uplift of about 300% on production. So these are our priority wells. We've picked out some second priorities. If we have any problems, or indeed if this program goes well, we will continue on and increase that number. We'll also be putting some new perforations in the Hontaman area during the program, which is about to kick off. And then following on from that, there is a deeper reservoir, the Liassic, below this main producing zone. It's been tagged in 2 wells on the flanks of the field. Neither has been produced. We think that there's something of the order of 25 million barrels recoverable from the Liassic, but it's still an exploration target in the sense that we need to find a producing zone within it. So we're planning to deepen at least one of our existing wells, and as I said earlier, we have a permit to do that. I'm going to just go very quickly past this slide. It does give you the detail of what we're doing, and the reason it's in there is that this is very detailed. That the point of this kind of secondary recovery program and on into what we'll do with the field long term is the EOR is you have to be very detailed, and we are at the centimetre level when we're thinking about reperforating and the technologies that we're going to use to exploit these wells and to get the remaining 20 to 40 million barrels. If you use those percentages that I mentioned earlier, you would hope to get this kind of field up to 60% recovery. As only 20 million barrels have been recovered, there is quite a lot left to get. So I'll move on from that quite quickly, but there are also new perforations to go in here. There are about a third of this program in the priority wells is targeted at new zones that have never been opened. The wells are well logged. We know everything that we need to know, but there are some zones that have never been open for production. And so not only will we get the uplift from cleaning up the existing well stock, but we'll also have a lot of new zones open. I mentioned our drive to kind of expand our footprint. Hontaman was worked over last year and has been on production since. We think we can sidetrack that well as a result of the 3D that was carried out. We're also looking at the Tozo gas field to see if we can actually produce that to a local market, convert it at site to electricity, or perhaps move the gas to Ayoluengo to use in our secondary recovery process. We've also been applying for additional licenses. 2 of them are named there because they're already in. The other 2 are being discussed with the authorities at the moment, and their exact area is not defined, but they will be lodged by the end of this month. And as I mentioned, RAG and Sogenia are looking at all of our acreage, and indeed the acreage around, with the view to investing in 1 or 2 test wells to the deeper unconventional shales. So this is the program you should expect from us this year. The red arrow is where we thought we would be. I think we're already slipping a couple of days. Everything is in place from our side. We're just waiting for the Bureau of Mines to finally send us the explosives permit. It is approved. It's approved by the police and so on. But until we receive it, we won't start. It's a 90-day program, what I've shown you there, of recompletion on the wells. Not only will we be reperforating, but we'll replace any damaged tubing and put new sucker rods and so on in the pumps, because the well's regularity is also a problem. We have to work very hard to maintain the 120 to 150 barrels a day. So we'll sort that problem out at the same time. We've contracted an additional rig. We own a rig, service rig, but we've brought in additional capacity. Once we are some way through that, we can design the automation and the arsenic removal process that we need in order to go for a facilities upgrade, which will allow us to sell to the BP contract. The sustainability of this program depends on the results to some extent. We'll see what we're getting. If we're getting the results we expect, we'll continue with the sidetrack in Hontaman and the deepening to the Lias, and then the nitrogen pilot with Praxair will kick off somewhere in the late summer. So changing geography. This is Trinidad. And the reason I put this slide in is actually to show something which I think stands out from here, which is Trinidad is actually a stranded part of Venezuela. This is not the West Indies. The West Indian archipelago is a nice place to go on holiday. Trinidad is just part of the industrial oil zone of Venezuela. In fact, the Columbus Channel at its narrowest point is no wider than from here back to my office in Mayfair. And our target here, though Trinidad has been a producing zone for many years, 80 or 90 years of onshore production, our target is a deeper target. Whilst we're taking a very similar approach to Spain, we will remediate the shallow zones, make our production optimized and recover as much from there as we can. We have a deeper target to chase, which is the Pedernales trend, which comes across from Venezuela. Just very quickly, what we've got there in place. This is, as I say, this is not the prize. This is just our starter pack. We have a small field here producing 34 barrels a day. 17 wells have been drilled across the field area, of which we have 4 open. We're currently working one over. This is a very traditional operation in Trinidad. There are many similar, probably around about 50 or 60 fields of this sort. Reserves are very small. Those reserves come from a very old report, and we're hoping that in the near future we'll have a new report on reserves for this field, which will be higher. But that is, as I say, is not the prize. The prize is in the deeper zones. Why do we think those zones are there in Trinidad? I mean, we do actually have aeromag and gravity and some seismic to justify it, but just to make it as simple as possible, this purple trend across here is a zone of mud diapirism, which comes out of Venezuela and crosses the Trinidad onshore and offshore zones. Our Icacos field is on the extreme southwest of the island there. I think you can see that. And it is part of the light oil fairway that runs right across the southern part of the island. In order to increase our footprint, we're currently in discussions with a number of other companies to acquire fields and participate in fields across there, with a view that we'll get to deepening and testing at the Pedernales level within the next few years. Gulf of Mexico continues to produce. I mentioned earlier that I find the investment pace too slow, and I'm sure those who were in Leni Gas at the time when this acquisition was made would never have anticipated the problems that we've had in getting investment moving there. Leni Gas originally bought into a local private company which had rights to a 25% participation with Lead Petroleum. We've reconfigured that now so that we have a direct working interest in the properties and in the additional options that come from that. There are many options here. Currently, only one of them, Eugene Island, is producing. It's producing profitably, but it's only one of the about 10 targets that we had when we acquired this. And the next proven undeveloped reserves there that we'd anticipated developing and still hope to develop are at Grand Isle, at Ship Shoal, and at South Marsh Island 8. I think it might be 6, South Marsh Island 6, that have been on the cards for a while, but for which investment from the operator has been limited. So we need to find a solution here. Currently, that's under evaluation. Final asset, exploration, somewhat different from the production remediation that we do as our main business. We hold a 10% interest here. It's an area of considerable future potential, and we're just taking a watching brief. There is a well in moderately deep water required on the license, though I don't think it'll be drilled this year. Our operator there, Mediterranean Oil and Gas, are currently in the process of looking for ways to fund that. So I hope, now we've returned to the slide, that you've got a sense of what we're trying to accomplish here. Short term, it's about delivery in Spain. It's been a long time coming. We believe it's just about there now. This year is a turning point. Once Spain is producing 500 barrels a day, I'm just going to pick a number, it's the one that's in the press release, it is self-sustaining and will be able to self-invest into the rising production trend that is possible there because the oil is known, you just simply need to invest to get it out of the ground. That will allow the company to focus on Trinidad, which is we will take through similar phase of expansion of these shallow opportunities before moving on to the exploration prize in the deeper reservoirs. We do have to find a way to crystallize our investment in the Gulf of Mexico, but assuming that we do that, we will then have Spain and Trinidad, and to grow the company we need to find another area. What happens in Malta? Well, I'll just watch. I'm very happy to do that. It's an area of considerable exploration potential, but it's not our core business, and we'll happily wait and see how that becomes valued when it gets drilled. So that's the story.